All right, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today to our campaign kickoff for the PUD Commission. I'm Jordan Sears. I'm running for the 3rd District, which is South Snohomish County. For the primary, only the 3rd District gets to vote, but once we get through to the general election, it is a county-wide election. So the first person that I'm having speak tonight is a good friend of mine. She serves on the Snohomish County Council, and she is the chair of the Snohomish County Council, my good friend, Megan Dunn.
Hi, Jordan. Thank you. Well, welcome everyone. We have had some interesting weather, which has been fun. It is raining here tonight. We had a bunch of lightning strikes the other day, and we were worried everyone's going to lose power or internet. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Jordan's background on climate, weather, and climate change and environmental issues. That was a really bad segue, but I tried. But I first got to know Jordan through his work in Gold Bar, and we were trying to stop a timber sale that was happening in the Wallace Falls area. And it was right adjacent, like right next to Wallace Falls and the park there. And there was a lot of effort done so that you could not see it's a clear cut, but they call it a variable timber harvest. And so they had all this effort to try to make it so that you couldn't see the areas they were clear cutting. And that was most of the effort that DNR and the timber companies put into it to try to hide it. And, I said it's still there, right? Like we still know that the clear cutting is there and we know the dangers that come with it. And then that's also that it's unsustainable. But I serve on the Timber Caucus on behalf of the county. I'm an alternate this year, but I was on it last year. And one thing I always mention is a resolution that Jordan really championed and got passed in Gold Bar, which was amazing, but it opposed that timber harvest and it opposed other non-sustainable timber harvest and really calls for an ecosystem-based approach to logging and to just forest management. So you hear a lot across the state when they're talking about timber harvest, or you hear a lot of them talking about how important it is to local communities. And this is always the example I bring up. And I'm able to say that because of Jordan's leadership at the local level. So without him pushing that resolution that was opposed to that effort, it showed that that type of forest management is not in sync with local communities because we had strong support because of his leadership saying, no, we actually don't want this in our town. We don't want this type of forest management and forest practices. So we did not win that battle. That's one of the worst failures that I've been through as a county council person and early on. I'm still sad about it. They move forward with the Wallace Falls and they're clear cutting that area and trying to make it so that they can clear cut higher up plots, and those are in the works as we speak to get approved and move forward. But there's still hope that we could look at a sustainable process and having ecosystem-based, maybe just in Snohomish County, but to look at a sustainable ecosystem-based process for forestry, and having Jordan at the local level is just critical for that. I wanted to talk a little bit about what we could see on the PUD with an environmental champion like Jordan. So we could see things like municipal broadband. We have areas that are totally not in touch, and we have the PUD reaching them with water and electricity, and we could potentially add broadband to that. So having a progressive voice on the PUD would be amazing for that. We could see more community solar projects. So the PUD put one community solar project in like the Arlington area. There's one going in South Everett, but let's see them in the Gold Bar area. Let's see them in South County. We could see salmon recovery projects. We could include salmon and dam removal. We could see some new sustainability and new more progress towards climate change and towards climate resolution. So having a progressive environmental leader. I think on the, having a second one on the PUD would just have like a block there that we could really see some great progress. So that's why I was really excited when he told me he was stepping forward and jumping in this race, and really excited to support him tonight. And I'm gonna definitely give a donation, because I'm sure you'll put it in the chat. And looking forward to supporting you in this effort. And really proud of all the work you've already done, Jordan, and very excited to see what you're going to do next. So thank you for inviting me tonight. There we go. The secure ActBlue link is now in the chat.
Thank you so much, Megan. Yeah, no, I got to work with Megan when we were fighting against the Middle May timber sale. And I remember when she was running her first campaign for county council. Was a big supporter for her then, and I'm just so proud to have her support now. Thank you so much. All right, next we're going to have another good friend of mine who is running for the state representative here in the 39th Legislative District. Her name is Jessica Wadhams. I'm so proud to have her here. And if you're able to donate to my campaign, also donate it to hers. She is a hardworking mom who's trying to make a change at the state legislature. So the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jordan. Yeah, it's just an honor to be here tonight. And I really want to just say I appreciate everyone who, took the time to be here and really show Jordan our support. Jordan has been such an incredible leader and is, so important that we keep him in elected positions, especially as a progressive candidate where we want to see change happen. These are the kind of candidates that we have to be supporting. I'll never forget the first time I ever met Jordan was actually at Joyce Copley's Kickoff event. And I'll just never forget how inspired I was when I left the conversation with him. The dreams and aspirations that he has they're fantastic, and they're exactly what this whole area really needs. We are very rural out here, and it is not necessarily the majority to have progressive views. And so in order to really protect, progressive values and the things that we really care about, we have to keep supporting, candidates like Jordan. Whether that's PUD commissioner today or it's, mayor tomorrow, it doesn't matter. What matters more than anything is that we make sure that people like Jordan and other people like myself, like that we are being supported in every way possible. And that might mean that today you decide to give a donation, which would be great. It might also mean that you want to help Jordan with doorbelling or postcard writing or any of the above. No amount of help is too small or won't be worth anything. They're all important and they all matter. So I'm really, like I said, honored to be here. I greatly appreciate everything that Jordan is doing to, make sure that our communities are thriving and that all people are being represented properly. So, and I'll just leave with this, beyond obviously being, a progressive guy, I've listened in on several meetings with Jordan for the 39th, and he is fair, he is knowledgeable, and he listens to people. And that is what our community members want. And so not only is he a fantastic progressive candidate, he's also just an awesome guy. And we need to make sure that he has our support. So I plead with you just one last time, please make sure that you can give him your support in whatever way makes sense to you. I'm going to put in the chat one more time though, Jordan, just because I want to make sure that people have it, that if there's any, as I like to repeat April Berg, she calls it her treasure. I'm going to call it that too. If there's any treasure that you want to share with Jordan, doesn't matter if it's $5 or if it's $100, that every little bit helps. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we just picked up our signs. I just picked up our signs yesterday from Tumwater. So you'll start to see those up out here in South Snohomish County. And then hopefully once we get through the primary and when we get to the general, you'll see them across the county. It is a strange way that the commission elects its commissioners. Like I said, so the primary is just in the 3rd district, so most of the South Snohomish County, so Snohomish to index, and then the general election is county-wide. This next person I have known probably the longest of all the people in this room right now. She really helped me, when I first joined the Democratic Party and working my way up to chair. She served as a state committee member and really opened up and helped me feel belong. She now serves as the Skagit County PUD Commissioner for the 3rd District in Skagit County. And she's also running for re-election this year. So without further ado, my good friend, Germaine Kornegay.
Hello there. Thank you, Jordan. And wishing you so much luck in your campaign. And like Jordan said, I've known him for a long time. You're so kind, Jordan, because you also helped me belong, and everything you said about me bounce off of me and back on you.
I second that.
So I just feel Jordan has always been so welcoming, and like you said, Jessica, very fair-minded and even keeled and so easy to work with. And I really appreciate that. And I think that those are the qualities that we need on PUDs. I've been on a PUD for almost 2 years, and this is the best our PUD has ever gotten along. We have a history of fighting and things like that on our PUD. It was crazy. But to be able to get along with everyone and listen to their perspectives is exactly what Jordan will do. That's super important, because you have to talk to builders as well as farmers, and they have different mindsets on how they're going to do things. So you have to somehow collaborate and figure out how you're going to work together with both of them. And someone who's fair-minded you just need it. You just need someone fair-minded, but also someone who understands the struggles of the single working moms. And, when you're talking about rates and late payments and policy issues like that, those are another thing that Jordan will understand. I've had to deal with that over COVID and the late fees, and just making sure that everything is plain and simple and easy to understand for everyone, and so that no one's slipping through the cracks and getting their water shut off. As far as what the PUD does, so we have to provide water. And even though there's areas in town or around the county that I would love to protect from building, it's bound to happen. And my job as a PUD commissioner is just to provide water where the county says that we should be providing water. And then keeping infrastructure up. So of course, that's labor and good livable wages. That's something that I feel like Jordan he will understand. Then you have, that's our thing. And then, of course, my campaign is the same as always. And when Megan was talking about the activism work that you guys did about the timber, just because you lost this time doesn't mean you'll lose the next battle. So what I've always, for the last 20 years, been fighting those same battles, and they'll keep coming back. So we've had the mining that wanted to take place along our Skagit River, upriver here. We just fought that through the Watershed Council. So these are things that Jordan can do. Reach out to, I don't know if you guys have a Snohomish Watershed Council. They'll be instrumental in protecting your water source. And, there's a lot to it. So things like that. And so, let's see, collaboration. Collaboration is huge. But mostly, just getting young people. I don't know who's on the PUD commission right now, but Jordan is young and he has a background already in local government. So that's super gonna help him. And now you have something to stand on. You have policies and people can look at your past work. And I know that there's a lot of people moving up from Seattle. So, I don't know what the demographics are now in Gold Bar or that. But I'll tell you one thing too, is it's super disappointing to me that Snohomish PUD isn't a part of the WPUDA statewide system. Skagit PUD are part of that system. I'm not sure why they dropped out, but it's a huge resource for knowledge for the Skagit, for the Snohomish PUD. And I go to those meetings all the time and hobnob, and it's really great to network with people and find out what they're doing in their PUDs. Our PUD only works with water, but I guess Snohomish is water and electricity. Am I right? But, you know, and then the statewide PUD, they deal with all of that. So you can join in all of these committees and have some input, but also learn a lot. And that's things that the PUD, the Snohomish PUD is missing out on, but not being a part of those statewide meetings. Those resources are not available to you guys. And I would think that would be something that maybe you could add to your repertoire, because I mean, we all talk about that at the meetings, is why isn't Snohomish here? We actually had our last meeting at the Tulare Casino in Snohomish County, and Snohomish County PUD was not there. So, I mean, there's something. We were talking. So anyways, I just wanted to say, please support my friend Jordan, and because he's young and he's capable, obviously, and we need him. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, Germaine. And I haven't been given a clear answer of why we're not part of WAPUDA, but it's definitely something that I'll push to rejoin. The Snohomish County PUD is the largest PUD in the state of Washington and the 12th largest PUD on the West Coast. We deal with a $637 million operating budget and service almost 400,000 people across Snohomish County and a little bit of Whidbey Island. So speaking of Whidbey Island and then Island County, I'd like to invite my very good friend, Joseph Busig, the chair of the Island County Democrats, who has been an amazing friend over the last few years. We would hold monthly Democratic chair meetings to discuss policy, to discuss just everything. And I'm just so proud to have him here today and to speak. So thank you.
Hi, everyone. Really, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you, Jordan, for your kind words. My name is Joseph Busig, and I am the chair of the Island County Democratic Central Committee in Island County. And I just, I wanted to speak about Jordan's track record and his vision and who he is as a person. And I think that Jordan has a lot going for him in terms of not just his strong commitment to the environment, but also because he's someone that listens to everybody and he brings everybody to the table, not just in the sense of wanting to collaborate for collaboration's sake, but he genuinely cares about what each group has to say, and he wants to create a policy that truly works for everybody, no matter what the issue would be. And one thing that I think about is amazing is, how many times have you heard, someone as young as we are, running for a position like the PUD or the city council of your community or anything like that. And it just goes to show that, young people aren't the problem or the hindrance, but they're the solution to a lot of problems that we face. And with Jordan, we would have a youth perspective on the PUD. We would be able to have that a needed perspective, not just in terms of youth, but in terms of environmental justice, in terms of a deep commitment to the climate crisis we're facing, a deep commitment to the rights of everybody, and making sure that rates stay low and that, no new buildings or anything or any new projects are environmentally devastating, working close with community partners. And I do say that I believe that he would put Indigenous rights at the forefront of working in any sort of climate framework. So I do think that Jordan, if I could vote for Jordan, I would enthusiastically vote for Jordan. And I'm also here because he would be representing part of Camino Island and Island County, which does receive services there, and so if we had people like Jordan, I know that rates would be equitable and fair, and everything would be accessible. And I'm sure that if there's a problem that we haven't mentioned tonight, I know that he would be at the table trying to figure out, how can we make this better for people, how can we go forward in a way that everybody is okay with this outcome, and we can do the best we can to provide these services. So I just really think that Jordan is, a very kind person. He leads with integrity. He cares about people. He cares about people's well-being. He understands what it's like, for struggling families, for working families. He has a deep commitment to the environment and to the rights of many, especially the disenfranchised communities. And I couldn't be more proud that Jordan is running for a position like this, and especially with his background as an environmental champion and a champion for just good governance. So I hope that you'll consider supporting him, no matter whether it's a donation of $5, $20, $100, whether you're donating your time and knocking on doors and even dropping literature at doors, or talking with 10 of your friends about why they should vote for Jordan. So I really think that Jordan is worth supporting, not just because Jordan will protect the environment and give good rates for folks, and just make sure that the PUD is a success for everybody who receives its services, but because he genuinely cares about everyone he represents. So I couldn't think of anyone really better to run for this position. So I want to thank Jordan for inviting me. And again, just consider donating or helping in any way you can, because that's what's pivotal to any election, is not just donating money, but actually boots on the ground, knocking on doors, talking to people, getting the word out there, and being enthusiastic about why you support someone like Jordan. So I really appreciate the time, and I appreciate Jordan's friendship, and I appreciate what Jordan's doing in his community and making it a better place for everybody to live. And I look forward to seeing him on the PUD commission, and just get him across the finish line. Let's do this. We can do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joseph. It's so great having you here today. So one of the things that I get asked quite a bit, especially being a young person at 22, is, of all the things that you could have run for, Jordan, why are you running for the PUD? It's the most boring job you could have in the elected experience. Well, sometimes people have to do the boring work. And what we need is someone who won't be complacent. We have not had a change in this district since I was 5 years old. Almost 18 years was the last time we got a new commissioner. I'm running for the PUD because I believe it's time for a change. I will be a commissioner who engages with our community, fights for working class families, works with staff at the PUD, not just executive staff, but the person at the bottom, the people out in the field. And we need someone who understands the severity of the climate crisis that we face today. We need someone who is bold in fighting for what is right, not what is politically convenient. I live by two quotes. One of the first ones, you can't see it because I made the mistake of wearing white today, but I have a little magnet that I wear. It's from John Wesley. It's do all the good you can for all the people you can, as long as ever you can. I'm lucky to be in a position where I can run for office, where I can fight for working class families, and I can fight for the people of Snohomish County in the 3rd District. The second quote, which really ties into, why are you running for this boring position? Was from John Adams. And if you've been to my campaign kickoffs before or any events that I've hosted, you've heard me say it. He said, I must study war and politics so that my children may study architecture, so that their children may study art. Or to paraphrase him, what he said and what he implied was we should be making the lives of our future generations easier and better, not harder. I'm taking up the hard work so that we can make it better for our future, for our children and our grandchildren and our great-great-great-grandchildren. My experiences as a Gold Bar City Council member have prepared me to work with businesses, state and local leaders across the board to ensure that the PUD is ready to take on our modern day challenges. Together, we can work to ensure cleaner energy and greener communities to secure a brighter and better future for everyone. We can fight to ensure that we have public broadband, that electricity and water rates stay low by ensuring that we don't raise rates on working and middle-class families, and we hold big and large corporations accountable. Large businesses get rate reductions because of how big they are. It's controversial, but quite frankly, I don't care. We shouldn't be subsidizing places like Amazon and Boeing and Walmart. It's time that they start subsidizing the people so that we can thrive. They get to give their CEOs millions and billions of dollars, and they get away with everything. They get away with underpaying their staff, giving them just under enough hours where they can't get a second job, but not enough to afford health insurance, and they still need to get on food benefit programs. I also want to ensure that our local governments have their own autonomy. The city of Gold Bar has its own water plan. We have 4 wells, and I want to make sure that that stays that way. By moving everything into one sometimes isn't great. It's actually worse for our environment. There was a proposal a few years ago that the city council approved the idea of it, but we decided that when we were going to be asked to actually implement it, we were going to decline. But it allowed for us to sell our water rights to the county and then pipe water from Everett to Gold Bar. The amount of work, the amount of area that we'd have to dig up to allow those pipes to go through is just not feasible. It's not environmentally friendly, and it's not cost effective. One of the big things that I hear a lot is that to be environmentally friendly, it's not fiscally responsible. I work in the financial industry. I've worked in the healthcare industry. Let me tell you, being environmentally friendly is the fiscally responsible thing to do. One of my fondest memories in college, my college economics class, my professor asked everyone, would you rather spend $2,000 right now to fix a problem that you don't have to deal with for another 30 years? Or would you rather spend $300 every year for the next 20 years? And I was surprised that everyone else chose to spend the $300 now instead of the $300 every year instead of the $2,000 now. It is cost effective and saves energy and saves lives when we invest in our communities now, not tomorrow. I will ensure that our people are heard across the board. The Constitution is clear that we must respect tribal rights and tribal treaties, and they have been ignored for far too long. We need to breach the Lower Snake River dams, which the PUD doesn't have control over, but we need to be advocating for what is best. For far too long, like I've said, the commission has become complacent, giving its powers to the CEO, general manager, and the rest of the staff. It's time that the PUD commissioners themselves step up and work directly with our state, county, local leaders. One of the first things I plan on doing once I'm elected to the PUD is I plan on going to at least one council meeting for each of the 5 major cities in the third district. It's time that we have community engagement so that people know who we are and what we do. One of the programs that has started over the last few years at the PUD is sending staff to schools. Unfortunately, they've only sent them up to the northern parts of the county and the bigger, much larger school districts. It's time we get them down here, down south, in Snohomish, in Monroe, and Sultan, because these are good paying union jobs. And quite frankly, let me be clear, I will always stand with our unions. I will always fight to protect the right to unionize, the right to organize, whether it's a Starbucks store or whether it is, Boeing or Amazon. Our commissioners have become, again, I'll say this again, they've become complacent and only focusing on PUD issues. Sometimes we need our elected leaders who aren't just, who even on things that they can't control, who need to step up and stand up for what is right. I would be honored if you are in this district to earn your vote in the primary. It'll be an honor once we get through the primary onto the general, if you're in Snohomish County, to earn your vote. Like I said, together we can work to ensure cleaner energy and greener communities to secure a brighter and better future for our children. The future is in our hands. We get to shape it. We get to mold it. We can't let it slip through our fingers. Again, if you'd like to check out, this is why you can check out our endorsements page. I'll post that in the chat now. I've been endorsed by the Washington State Conservation Voters, all the speakers here today, as well as our Snohomish County Treasurer, Brian Sullivan, Mayor Linda Redmond. Just today, we got the endorsement of State Representative Emily Wicks. So please join them in supporting me. If, like I said, if you can donate, please donate. If you want to sign or 5 or 10, let me know and I'll find out a time to get them to you so we can put them up, because I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fight. So thank you.